As a first-time business owner, the legal jargon that you have to deal with can get overwhelming, but I promise it is not as hard as you think. Today we're talking about LLCs, or limited liability companies. This can be a great business structure if you're trying to protect your hard-earned money, but it's not the best solution for everyone, and it might not be the best solution right now, but maybe in a couple years. So let's just dive in so that you can decide if an LLC is the right business structure for you. Hola, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? My name is Maricruz. I'm an engineer, environmentalist, and entrepreneur. And in this channel, I'm your small business coach. Notice I didn't say I'm a lawyer or a tax person or anything like that. Please consult with professionals. I am just giving you whatever I've learned from building my businesses. So please take this as information only. This is not legal advice. In this video, we're gonna go through the definition of an LLC, the key benefits of an LLC, and the key drawbacks. I'll also include at the end the steps to forming your LLC, but this will not have any detail in it. I will just be going through them really fast. So make sure you subscribe to hear about the video on how to actually form an LLC, because this video will be very broad, just to get you an idea of what limited liability companies are. Okay, so what is an LLC? An LLC, or a limited liability company, is a business structure that offers both the flexibility of a sole proprietorship or partnership, but also includes some of that protection like a corporation. Some other business structures that you may have heard is a sole proprietorship, a partnership, an S corp, a C corp, and of course an LLC. These are all types of business structures or entities that you can form for your business. And it really depends on where you're at, which one you choose. So let's jump right into the key benefits of an LLC. First one is liability protection. One of the biggest advantages of an LLC is that it separates your personal assets from your business assets. So if you're ever in the situation where your business has a lawsuit against it or has a lot of debt, your personal assets are protected. Think like your car or your home. Those personal assets are protected, and they can't go after those personal assets if your business has some troubles going on. The second benefit of an LLC is that it has a lot of flexibility with how you treat your taxes. You can choose to treat your taxes as a sole proprietorship, a partnership, or a corporation, depending on what your current tax status is and what your needs are. The third benefit is that they're fairly easy to form. Compared to a C corp or an S corp, LLCs are generally easier to file and require less paperwork. They are also less expensive than other corporations. The fourth benefit that I want to highlight here is that you have the ability to customize your operating agreement. An LLC is governed by an operating agreement, which is a legal document that outlines the rules and regulations of how the business will be run. These can be customized to fit your specific needs and preferences, which is really nice. Of course, things like this can't be perfect, so there are some drawbacks to an LLC, which I will talk about now. The first one, top of my list, is that there are usually some annual fees that you have to pay. Either these are annual fees by your state or franchise taxes. And this can range a lot depending on your state of how much these fees are. For example, California here, being one of the more expensive ones, you have to pay $800 a year on franchise taxes. So for example, if you're just starting out and you're not really making any money yet, this is probably not the best time for you to start an LLC. You usually want to start an LLC when these fees that you have to pay don't seem as extreme, or the protection, the liability protection is worth the money. So just think about that. There will be some fees associated with running an LLC. Second thing is that unlike corporations, LLCs are not perpetually in existence. You might have to renew your LLC annually in some states, and that can again get a little costly if you have to pay a filing fee every year. A third drawback is that LLC members are usually considered self-employed. Self-employment taxes are way higher than your employer, or really any other form of tax. And lastly, ownership interests in an LLC can be difficult to transfer, way more difficult than, say, a stock in a corporation. So if you're trying to expand and scale and find investors, for example, it might be more difficult to convince investors or to transfer some of that interest if you have an LLC. So that's something to consider if you're looking to grow in that way. So as you can see, it really depends where you're at with your business. If you're just starting off, you don't want to pay the annual fees, you're probably better off with the sole proprietorship. If you're pretty well established, or if you have a company that needs that liability protection. For example, I have a sunscreen company. If you have something like that where people are using it in their body and it could lead to some sort of lawsuit if people are not happy, then you want to protect your personal assets. So that's why for SunMud, we have an LLC. So it really depends where you're at right now. And I invite you to do a lot more research. There's a lot of good content here on YouTube on LLCs, sole proprietorship, C Corp. Just do your own research, but this is like the general overview of an LLC. So in case you decide an LLC is for you, I have the 4 steps you need to do in order to form an LLC. Again, I am not going into detail in this video, but just so that you can get an idea. Step 1 is to choose your business name. Make sure your business name is unique and it doesn't conflict with any other businesses. I have a whole video on how to pick your business name. So if you want to check that out after this, I strongly recommend it. Step 2 is to file the articles of organization. This is the legal document that forms your LLC, and the requirements vary state to state. Third step is to create your operating agreement. This document outlines your ownership structure, management, and other key aspects of your LLC. And the last step is to obtain a business license. This is going to vary by your local government, but you're most likely going to have to file a business license or get a permit depending on where you're at. Well, there you have it. That is what an LLC is. I hope this was helpful for you. One more thing I will say about an LLC is that it does give you a level of credibility more than just a sole proprietorship if you are trying to grow your business and build that trust with your customer. And if you do form an LLC, you get this cool thing full of your files that looks super professional and super legit with your LLC name here. So I guess that's another perk. But like I said, maybe it's not the right time. If you do want to learn about sole proprietorships and DBAs, I do have a video on what is a DBA and also how to file one. So I would recommend those if you think that's a better way for you to start. I will also invite you to subscribe to the channel so that you can see that when the next videos come out, will I explain more in depth which business structure might be best for you. Let me know in the comments if you have any questions about LLC. I'll try to get to those. And if not, I will see you next week. Until then, don't forget, Poquito goes a long way. Ciao.